Good. Chuck. Hi everyone. This webinar is on what's new in Inventor 2020. We are from I-VTech and jointly with Marcus and I'm Yichao. We're both the sales team from I-VTech, and in this webinar we will highlight the improvement and enhancement in this release of Inventor. So there will be videos and along with live actual Inventor demo. Then we'll end the webinar with a Q&A session at the end. So in the midst of our presenting, right, you need to have any questions, you may feel free to type in the chat box along the way. We will then try to address all questions at the end during the Q&A session. Okay, so I will continue. So you could see my next slide, right? Okay, so more about I-VTech. So we are an authorized Autodesk reseller, and we specialize in our product design and manufacturing. So our company has over 20 years in providing CAD/CAM related technologies. It's like what Autodesk is doing: drafting, 3D design, modeling, analysis, and simulation, and then together with other related end-to-end solutions and services. More on that in the next slide. So what do we really offer in detail? So based on the end-to-end solution that I mentioned, we base it on customers' requirements and goals. Then we sort them into the 3 pillars: design, use, and make. So what are some of these solutions? So under design, right, provide 3D modeling and drafting, and for simulation analysis, we specialize in simulation for injection molding, computational fluid dynamics (CFD), and finite element analysis services (FEA). So these are softwares that actually perform simulation and use the need for actual testing, where they predict product failure in a scenario. So this is reducing cost and waste during design and manufacturing. And then under the make portion, we provide C and C post-processing, and then a very popular technology these days, 3D printing services. Lastly, under the application funnel, we cover both software and hardware implementation, and we also provide trainings of software and system, even customized trainings based on your unique team's learning objectives, and so on and so forth, and also product data management solutions. So next, so this is some of our portfolio of clientele. So over the years, we have slowly expanded from provide variety of industries. So we have government agency, Institute of Higher Learning, research entities, oil and gas, semiconductor, electronics, injection molding, and consumer products, where we have been constantly offering value-driving solutions. Okay, so let me go on to the main piece of today's content. So the Inventor development team have always worked to build and release professional-grade enhancements that help to automate and connect your workflow more. So always, right, this improvement and enhancements are driven by end users' feedback. They have feedback from communities like Inventor ideas and various other ways Autodesk team and communicates with you. So on this year's release, right, they focus on new ways of managing various partner assemblies that are similar to each other, using especially this. I think this big thing is called model states, which we'll cover more later, and the continued development for interoperability between the different solutions and software, between Inventor and Revit and Fusion 360. And productivity and performance are always a high priority for them. And all these enhancements we'll show you shortly. So we divided today's presentation and the enhancement into these 6 categories. So model states for both parts and assemblies. So for parts, you will manage manufacturing operations, dimensional variations, and simplified representations of all in one platform. And then for model states for assemblies, it aims to create multiple representations of an assembly within a single document to manage various assembly configuration and model simplification. And Revit interoperability, collaborate on BIM projects with improved tools to simplify and save native Revit project file in Inventor. So on the productivity and performance kind of enhancements, right, you will see increased performance when you edit large assemblies, and it aims to improve your productivity, the features you can use. So for drawings, use the new camera views, manufacturing information, and you get your lighting styles from the 3D models in your 2D drawing views. And lastly, for the installation and deployment, right? How to get everyone on the team onto the latest release with this new installation. Go on next. So you can see now a summary of the performance improvement in productivity also. And since Inventor 2008, every year 19, 2022, 2021, the latest 2022, right? The focus has always been on they focus the effort on performance objective for all aspects of the Inventor product. So your usual part assembly drawings have all been enhanced year after year to deliver more efficient work experience for everyone, especially for you, those of you working on very big and complex parts and large assemblies. So on the outright software performance, the improvement to graphic technology and hardware utilization, it's very obvious improvement over the years. So like those that you all enjoy editing your parts there, or you work in the assembly environment, right? You'll find several performance improvements for editing sketches and visibility. So your graphic processor unit, your graphic card is now better utilized for visual styles like the wireframe display and silhouette edges and shadows. And opening and closing of files and documents is faster. Yeah. I'm not going to go into detail, but just a quick look at the key performance data indexes. You can see quite a big performance jump improvement. Yeah, so the constraints, assembly open, close, the graphic silhouettes. And this is all for just 1 year release. So this performance enhancement is more apparent if you switch from an older year version of Inventor. Okay, I'm going to start on the actual topics of the content of the actual improvement in Inventor. So the first key one I'm going to show is on the user interface. I'm going to follow up with a live demo of this. So the fillet command in the part environment has actually gone through quite a major change. So actually there's 3 fillet subcommands within the main fillet. So there's your normal edge fillet, and there's a face fillet and full round fillet. And the property panel also sort of has a bit of interface change. And next up, I will show on assembly constraints also. So let me go to Inventor. So let's demonstrate doing using this fillet command and layout to get the end product like this. So let me start with the file. So this part is all square edges and not filleted yet. So now you go down this fillet, right? For now, you see now it's to drop down. Actually, there's 3 kinds of fillet now. The one I was talking about, the standard edge fillet, face fillet, and full round fillet. So the face fillet is actually it's a round fillet between 2 adjacent faces. You have to choose 2 faces. Our demo all 3 of this each to show how you actually use them. Then there's a full round fillet. This is for 3 faces. So let me start with the full round fillet first. Notice now actually it comes out as a properties dock now actually where you can dock it separately. You want to put it here, or you could actually dock it here. So for me, right, I would prefer it. Let's say you would prefer it at the top. Okay, let's take it out. I prefer it separate. So okay, full round fillet has 3 faces. So I have to select 3 faces. So the first face, select this, and this. So now I have actually filleted this one big chunk. So this is how we use a full round fillet in this scenario. you could basically OK to proceed. And if you want to add more faces or do more fillet, you can actually choose the plus button, or you can right click, apply, or OK. This OK is the same. So it will both apply and quit the selection. Okay, let me demonstrate doing face fillet, choosing two adjacent planes. Okay, there's two here. This is the fillet radius. You could still change the radius later. So now I'm going to do a fillet here. I choose this and this face. So see. 5. Let's go for 2. Okay, I'm going to click OK. Go for and fillet. Okay, you notice for the standard fillet, right? There's another fixed sub icon here. So there is different selection mode also. Constant radius is that, variable radius type, and this is corner setback. And then the selection type can be based on align edges, edge loops. Edge loop will be, for example, this square is edge loop, is a closed loop. And then based on feature type. Okay, let me start by doing feature type. I'll also demo one of each type. So this will be a feature type. As I click it, you could drag the arrow. I think this was on the previous release. They have this way to vary the radius, fillet radius. Or you could basically key the precise. Go for 1.5. Then enter. Okay. Another. So let me fillet the rest of the thing. So we sort of make this look like this. Okay, let me go try. Let's try this each loop where we would apply. Yeah. This is a closed loop. That's true. 1, 2. Let's go for 1. I press enter. Straight away it goes to OK and close the screen. Then you close the property dot. And then let's try the last one. Let's try the standard fillet in. No, still the last second. Sorry, not done so soon yet. Let's try the priority H. This is the default one. We try to avoid the features one because once you click on the feature, for example, like this, or this, right? It tends to do a lot of wholesale selection. It deals too much area. So actually, sometimes in the browser tree, it's very hard. It's quite difficult to, if you have any mistake, to trace back one by one. So I mean, it's still a better practice to do in smaller sections like edges or loops. So this two, choose for this to edge, this. And again, you can drag this arrow accordingly if you like. Yeah, this too big. 3 big. Let's do 2. Okay. And then the last one on the standard fillet selection is let me try the variable radius fillet. So what the variable fillet is, it's sort of like a taper in the demonstrator. So you see, there's 2 points. This would start at 2 millimeter. This would end at 2 mm. So it's constant throughout. Let's say I add another point that I can vary the radius. Let's say in the middle. 2, 2, 2. See, I have 3 positions here. Let's say I make this, make it a big value to be honest. I make it 8 millimeters. So if fillet radius from 2, then suddenly there is a big increase to 8, and then it drops down to 2. That would not be realistic in real life. So let's make this one, the start and end is 1 mm each. And let's do the middle at 10 or 1.5. It's okay. So this is a scenario where you could use the variable fillet. So it's like a tapered fillet. Okay, so there we have it. I think there was some embossment numbering here, right? Nameplate. Okay, so we have this part now. Okay, so let me go on to the presentation now. So this is on the user interface on how the fillet command has changed. Next up is the constraints in the assembly mode. So there is also some changes in under the component constraint. So these new options will allow you to quickly identify under which components are under constraint. So the constraint status now displayed by default in the assembly browser as one of the 3 symbols, which I will show later. Okay, let me demo it. So we have full assembly here, right? So go to Tools, under Document Settings, then under Modeling, we check the Show Constraint State in Browser. Apply. I'm not sure if this is too small. That can you notice that in the layout, in the modeling history tree here, right? There's actually these dots here. So actually you can see the entire constraint status for all the parts in the assembly. So you see fully solid dots, it shows it's fully constrained. And then the clear rounded dots means under constraint. And the third mode, which we don't have here, if it shows a dash, that means the constraint status is unknown, which means you need to do a full redo. And another way of actually filtering the constraint status, right? If you go to the advanced menu here, and you go to display preference. So you can filter by showing hide work feature. Hide work features. Hide fully constrained. Then you filter and you only show the partially constrained. Yeah. Then you can actually still turn on and off by using this. So let me go back to the default. Yep. Yeah, back to where I showed the constraint state. Okay, so yeah, done for this is all for the changes for the constraint state. So let me go back to the presentation again. And in the assemblies, right, there's changes to the instance properties. So actually the purpose is the new instant properties in Inventor to allow you to assign properties, and then you can add unique piece of information to each component in the assembly environment. So assigned properties are stored in the parent assembly. Unlike I-properties, instant properties don't affect the reference component file. So instant properties are assigned to individual component instances. Only can override custom I-properties. So instant properties are available in annotations such as balloons, leader nodes, and part lists. So I'll show you this demo in the next video. Can you all hear the sound?
Instance properties in Autodesk Inventor 2022 help to add unique information to each Properties in Autodesk Inventor 2022 help to add unique information to each instance of a component in your assembly. Instance properties could be used to describe the purpose of a component, to add a unique tracking number, or to add service information. Instance properties allow you to assign one or more custom I-property overrides to individual component instances. Components with instance properties are marked in the browser with a dot. Instance properties don't affect the I-properties in the component file themselves. Instance property data is stored in the containing assembly file. A quick way to view, edit, and add instance properties to multiple instances of a component is using the BOM editor. Custom I-property columns in the BOM editor can be defined as containing instance properties, and a new Merge Instance Rows option is now available to group or ungroup components with unique instance properties. Instance properties can be referenced in 2D and 3D model annotations, and in your drawings in balloons, leader notes, and your parts list. Add unique property data to each instance of a component in your design with Autodesk Inventor 2022.
Okay, so that's the overview of instant properties. Okay, so another new introduction, not really new. In 2021, actually, they introduced the dark theme. Some of you might be prefer to serve your web or your application looking at the black color dark theme. So they are doing that for Inventor. I think there's only notice a few items can have the options, but I think for this release, so they implemented across the entire Inventor. So even the iLogic Blue editor also has the dark theme. So to turn on the dark theme, right? Let me show you. You go to under Tools, Application Options, and then under the Color tab, the UI under the User Interface theme, from light you select dark. It's quite intensive software. Yeah, so this is how you turn on the dark theme. Allow me to continue. So next part of the demonstration will be on model states. So I'll allow my colleague Marcus to take over this. So I think Marcus, I hand over to you. I'll stop share.
Thanks, Ichao. Wait, let me just prepare my screen. Can you hear me? No problem, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so for model states, a little bit different from Ichao. So I'll go through the presentations first, then show you the live demo. I will also show the end result and before the end result and end result itself. How does it happen? Right? Model state is a powerful new workflow that enables you to create multiple representation of a part assembly within a single document to provide convenient ways to engineer, to manage, and manufacture your design with different dimensions, parameter, property simplifications. Because of this variant exists in one file, you don't need to actually worry about breaking the associations. So in the previous versions, or the last few versions, you probably will know it as I parts itself, I assembly. All right, so this will be the assembly states, model states in the assembly mode. So what it does, you can pre-configure all those variants into the model states itself, and to show all the different variants when you want to change from one state to another state. So the purpose of it is to allow you to produce drawings for different states itself. And so, for example, your fabrication people will need to show everything, or you probably want to only share some of the drawings with your vendors itself. All right, so this I will show in a live demo later. Just a quick video. So you can see that variants can now change from two variants to 4 variants itself. So you can just simply activate the model states in assembly mode from 4 components to 2 components, so on and so forth. All right, the next one will be simplifications improvement. So once again, previously this is known as string wrap. So in 2022, string wrap actually has been replaced with this command called simplification. So the new simplified commands replace both string wrap and string wrap substitute command. With the simplified, you can now remove components and features from a complex assembly in order to collaborate to the downstream user, or maybe for the shop floor people, just in case they don't need to show, or rather they don't need to see everything, all the details of the assemblies. So you can see that now these are the interface has been changed accordingly. Previously, okay, this is a new interface. You can now, when you do a simplification, you can choose to exclude which features accordingly. All right, the next enhancement will be drawings. So typically, when you change drawings itself, or you create a 3D models, you produce a 2D drawings. In the previous version, when you update your drawing view, or rather in the model, you change the shaded view from color to color, the 2D drawing doesn't update. You probably got to manually go and change the design styles. But in 2022, version 2022, you don't have to do all this. So everything will be taken care. Lighting styles, camera views, annotations. So all will be now port over to the drawing. Right, interoperability. So this one I will show later. Let me just bring you to the live demo. All right, can you all see my screen? No problem, right? So if you did not manage to see my screen, just let me know.
Yes, your Inventor.
Okay, can do. All right, so I've actually put a shortcut on my desktop. So I'm going to go to my models and assembly. Let me just show you the end result first. And how does it work? So as you can see, these are the in the model states assembly. So previously also known as I-assembly. So what I can do is rather changing the models or editing the models, I can pre-configure all this into different variants. For example, I can now go to 2 units, or I can go to 3 units or 4 units. So of course, along the way, when you want to do changes, you can either actually edit the models itself, or you can, the fastest way, you probably want to use Excel spreadsheet to do the editing. Another way is that you can actually pre-configure the representation view to see those views that you want to put into the drawing. For example, close-up view. So when you do a 2D drawings, this view will now be captured for you to do the 2D drawings. Let me just close this. And I'll just open. All right, so this is pre-configured. It's only modeled into 2 units. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it via spreadsheet, so which is much faster. And once again, any changes done in spreadsheet, you will update in the model, vice versa. So let me just show you a quick one. All right, so those information which inside my Inventor will now be shown inside Excel spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy. And I will just one more. Let me just copy this line. All right, and let me just change the information simply by dragging it down. So I've actually added 2 more variants, make it total of 4. So once changes has been done, so what I need to do, I just need to save or render. Save and just close this. It will now update automatically in my 3D models. There it goes. So I can now change from 2 units to 3 units or 4 units. Of course, whenever I do changes inside my 3D models, it will update in my Excel or vice versa. I'm going to just do another changes. The simple one is I'm going to hide some of the features, which is probably the holes itself. Okay. So I'm going to, for this, I'm going to the actuator, left actuator, and right actuator. So I'm going to just copy this, paste. I'm going to suppress some of the components inside the 4 units, and I'm going to save this. And I'm going to just close it. So once again, you will update in my models accordingly. So once again, instead of creating the models with different variants, you can actually now edit this through the Excel spreadsheet. So that would be the assembly model states. So let me just bring you another one, would be the model states for parts. Right? As usual, I will show you the end result, then I'll just show you the live demo. All right, this is the end part. All right, so you can see that this once again has been pre-configured. The difference between model state assembly and the part itself, you can see that this is only features rather than assembly trees. So as usual, I can now toggle from model to models. You can see the number of fins has been reduced or increased accordingly. Right, so I'm going to show to you how do I actually do it. Just open the files and let's open this. You will realize that actually I did some 3D annotation to show the obvious changes. So I'm going to do is I'm going to do a right mouse click, all right, copy, and I'm going to make it active, and I'm going to rename this. Just give a name. Okay, 001. Let me just say _01. All right. So as usual, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some, or rather, I'm going to edit some I-property first before I edit my spreadsheet. So I'm going to change some information. Let's just say I want to change the part number to 41, stock number to 21, number of blades, I'm going to change to 21. All right, so this has been done. And lastly, maybe I'll just configure some parameters which I pre-configure it. Change the pre-configured parameters. So I'm just change it to 21. Click OK. So you can see information has been changed, has been tagged. But this is not all. What we'll do, once again, I'm going to edit this information through spreadsheet, and I'm going to add in more parameters inside here. So edit spreadsheets. Right, let me just once again make Excel. Right, so you can see that I use this much faster, and information, the number has been changed accordingly. Part number, description, stock number, number of blades also has changed accordingly, except this because I did not put some pre-configurations. So I'll just do some manual change. As usual. So I just need to save this. Let's close once again. There it goes. So you can see that all the information has been changed, including the 3D annotation. So just double click. Number of blade has changed. Annotation also changed accordingly. So last time in the previous version or the older version, you might be using iPad, but over in 2022, in model states itself, you can do all these pre-configurations and save it as a standard parts. So anytime you want to do changes, you can just click on whichever configuration you want to use for different assembly. Right, so next would be simplification. Simplification is previously known as string wrap, which Autodesk actually has removed this and replaced with string wrap command, or rather replaced with simplification. So as usual, I will show to you the end result, then I will configure to show to you how is it being created. So you can see the purpose of level of details, or rather this simplification is that you want to share your drawings with your vendors, but you want to protect some IP design by your company, which you don't want to share. So previously, you might be using string wrap to hide some of the features, some of the parts itself, so that minimal information has been shared with your vendors, because some of the drawings or some of those design are proprietary to your company. So I can now, this is fine with all the information. Call, you can see maybe this is for my fabrication purpose. I don't need to show everything. And for our rather medium and call, this probably would be on to share to my my design people. This is the concept and how to actually develop it further. So I'm going to just close this file and just open this. And I'm going to start this. All right, we'll just delete the core because I previously saved it, but never mind. Let me just delete it. And I'm going to just copy and we'll activate it and we'll change it as. All right. So instead of using string wrap, there's this command called define envelope. So I'm going to use this. And how do I want to simplify my design? So I just select box, bounding box. This is my face. This is the bottom. Let me just select my bottom face. All right. Just rotate face and to end on this face. All right. So I want to continue the command. Of course, I can actually escape or rather click OK, and after that, followed by another command. So I don't. Instead of that, I will just add another one. So I'll just click OK. So you can see that the information has been reduced further. Let me just use another one. Bounding cylinder. Just select the face. Resize. I'm going to just drag. And I'm going to drag to the face. To this face. All right. So there you go. Give me a minute. Sorry. All right. So you can see that now this part has been simplified a lot. For maybe I just want to share with my designer team to tell them that this would be the initial concept, and from there we'll build much more details further for the rest of the team member. So once again, informations can be shared. For example, if for analysis you don't need to show so much detail, you can make use of this, the medium, all right, and to do your simulation analysis. So alternatively, the purpose of this is it allows you to place in different states or simplifications into drawing, so that when you try to create drawing the time, it allows you to place different views, whether is it fine, medium, or coarse. Okay, the next one. Just don't save. Next would be the drawing enhancement. So this is what I will open. and just sorry, just okay. So I've got two drawings being opened up side by side. So I will just arrange it vertically. Just close this for the time being. All right, and this is my drawings. Sorry, I should open up the models. Yes, okay. You just rearrange. All right, so this is my drawings, and this is the models itself. So in the previous version, what you do is if you change this model styles, it doesn't update the drawing. So over here now, the updates will just it will be instantly updates by clicking on the model views itself. Let me show you a quick one. View. Let me just change the lighting style to a different one. Quick light. Okay, so you can see it different. All right, so changes has been done. Over here, what I need to do, I just need to simply go to my drawings, double click. It will update accordingly. So once again, if I do any changes on the appearance, I can now, let me just change back to a different theme, two lights. All right, all I need to do, I just need to double click. It will just update accordingly. So that would be the shaded view enhancement. Now, let me bring you to the next one, which is the annotation, drawing annotation, automations rather. Just close. We just close this so that you not slow down my system. So I'm going to open this and this. All right, so this is a pre-created templates drawings. This is my model. As usual, under my views, I've actually pre-configured with some 3D annotations. Let's just say the front. Okay, so all these 3D annotations mainly for my fabrication or for my engineers people to share for discussion. So I can have the top view, side view, ISO view. So let me just bring you to the front view. All right, and let me just go to my drawings. Let me just create base view. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is the default information which does not have any pre-configured dimensions or annotation at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this and I'm going to make sure this is front view, and I'm going to enable the camera view, include 3D annotation, and I want to make sure changes to front. All right, and just make some, as usual, all the dimension arrangement you can just change to accordingly to whichever you prefer. So I'm going to do the same thing for the next two view, top view. I'm going to include annotations and just make sure that I'll get the same view. The purpose of it is I want to save this as a template file so that the next time when I try to create a 2D drawings, all this information will be tagged together based on my 3D models, front view, top view, side view, so on and so forth. This one I need to change it to top. Let me just make sure this is on, and there it goes. All right, then. Annotation is all in. Let's go to side view. and just make sure that 3D annotation is enabled. There it goes. So arrangement of the dimension, you can just change accordingly. Lastly, I'm going to change this to ISO view, camera, and annotation. Shaded view. There it goes. So dimension can be changed. Dimension position can be moved accordingly. Let me just move this and this. All right. So once this is done, so I will save this as a template with all the information. So simply just go to over here, create drawing sheet format. So once I click on this, you will see that all the four views, or rather all the 4 views will be automatically being picked up. All right, so you can see that it's automatically being picked up. So I'm going to call this as maybe A2. Front. And so just to make sure it fits into my A2 drawings, so I just enable these options and I save this. All right, so this information has been saved. So due to the time constraint, I pre-configured the templates itself. So I'm going to over here, click on this, and just bring it up. The A2. All right, look for the models. So I'm going to use this models, and when I click on it, open. All the annotations, the top view, front view, side view will automatically been taken care of. So the purpose of it is that you can actually pre-configure all the templates so that you can save it, save time to reuse the template anytime for any of your drawings. All right, let me just see, this is done. All right, so that would be the end for the drawing enhancement. You just bring it back to the PowerPoint. All right, so the next one would be the interoperability. So what it does in 2022, QFI import QIF 3.0 quality information framework support. So the QIF export options enable you to export the quality information framework, which contain the PMI data. The next one would be using the task scheduler, it now support JT format. Interoperability between Inventor and Revit. So export the Revit incorporate the new simplified commands to produce an I-VTech model having only the components and features needed for the Revit design. A Revit export browser folder is placed in the Inventor model browser. It will populate with the node for the exported model. As long as the models maintained in a specific path, you can now edit, preview, open Revit, or associate applications for an update I-VTech models. For this, I will actually show you a quick video.
Autodesk Inventor's Revit Exchange toolsets allow us to create Revit families, reference Revit projects into Inventor with AnyCAD, and new in Inventor 2022, export a native Revit project directly out of Inventor. Using Inventor AnyCAD, we can directly reference a Revit project file into Inventor so that we can design within the context of the BIM project. The Revit model can be shared as a file or managed with Autodesk Vault or Autodesk Construction Cloud. We can select which view we'd like to use from the Revit model, or we can directly select which categories we'd like to see inside Inventor. We can now use the Revit model as a design reference, using Inventor's assembly relationships to drive the location and dimensions of our Inventor model. When the model is updated in Revit, Inventor AnyCAD will update the reference inside Inventor, keeping the two models in sync. When our design is complete, we can use Inventor's simplification tools to reduce the complexity of the manufacturing model to the requirements of the BIM project. We can then export a Revit project or I-VT file directly from Inventor, which can be shared as a file or managed with Autodesk Vault or Autodesk Construction Cloud. Inside Revit, we can link in the project file we created with Inventor. Unlike Revit families, which represent individual components, our project file is placed using the coordinate system that we've shared between Revit and Inventor. This guarantees that our model will be in the right location for collaboration and review. The impact of the Inventor model on the Revit design can now be assessed and necessary adjustments made. Feedback can be given and an updated Revit model can be shared. The Revit model reference is automatically updated inside Inventor via AnyCAD and the impact assessed. And if necessary, we can continue to round-trip the Inventor and Revit models until the coordination process is complete. Autodesk Inventor 2022 continues to provide unique functionality, helping manufacturers and construction professionals to collaborate using a shared data model.
All right, the next one would be Inventor and Fusion 360. So in Inventor 2022, there's this button called Send to Fusion. So in Fusion, you can now be able to edit your models without changing the parts in Inventor. Previously, you probably need to toggle between Inventor and Fusion 360 if you want to do changes on the 3D models. So with these options or this new functionality, it's ideal when you need to prepare a parts for CNC machining, 3D printing, or generative design. So like what Ichao has said, the installations in 2022 has been now simplified. The new installer and the online deployment build that also helps everybody in your team to speed up in terms of the installation compared to the last few released. So in 2022, installation has been minimized. Unlike the past previous version, you will need to configure the standard inches, ISO, so on and so forth. But in 2022, you don't have to configure all this anymore. Of course, along the way, after the installation, you can change from inches to mm as and when you want. Once again, the Inventor development team has worked hard in this release to build a professional-grade enhancement to help to automate and connect your workflow. As always, there's an improvement and enhancement driven by customer through the feedback community. These are the additional resources that we want to share with you. Feel free to just take a snapshot and go through this if you have time. So if you have any information or if you want to have some ideas, you can actually go to the forum and put it up. And same for the community, Autodesk community.
If you would like, actually, we could, as a post email, we could email all these web links, follow up. Yeah, actually, we have your registration details.
Okay, thanks, Chichao. All right, with that, we will wrap up our 2020 What's New in 2022 webinar. You can always visit our company websites, or you can also send us email to me or Ichao. This is where both our email. Should you have any query, be it trainings, be it software, do feel free to drop us a message or email. So with that, maybe I'll end my session.
Yes. Any more questions? I don't see any questions in the chat. Gives them some time. If you like to type in any question in the chat, you can address them now. Or if you would like to see the demo again, we could do it again.
Yeah. By the way, we will send once we compile everything, we will send the recorded sessions to everyone. If you want to relook or revisit this webinar, just give them a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 1-2 minutes. So if not, alternatively, you can still reach us through our email. So we're happy to address accordingly.
Correct. You can still post any of your questions to over email to us. Yeah.
Okay, I don't see any questions, right? Okay, I think we should be able to wrap it up. Anything from your side, Yichao?
Not really. Yeah.
Already. Okay, so thanks everyone for spending this 1 hour just nice. Ended nicely, 3 minutes
Okay.
before. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks
sorry,
everyone.
thank you.
So we'll once again reach back to you guys with the recorded sessions, and you have do feel free to reply the email if you have any questions, be it training, software, so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll end the session. Thanks everyone and have a good evening.
weekend.
Yep. Bye.
Bye bye.